everyone, welcome to Sewing Friday Live. My name is Gina, and tomorrow I'm not going to be doing a video, so I decided to do a live video tonight, and I'm going to show you guys how to do some quick Christmas placemats since Christmas is coming up. So for this project, it's not a hard project, it's fairly simple, and it's also an opportunity that you guys can ask some questions if you have them, and we can chat a little bit. So these placemats that I'm going to be showing you how to make it is you're going to cut 4 different fabrics, and I have here, I picked these from Robert Kaufman, this line that's really pretty that has all the Christmas ornaments. But you can do this for any occasion, any time of the year, of course. And so I have 4 different fabrics here. So I have the silver, this one here, and this one, and that one. So what I cut here is I cut 20 inches from the bolt, and you see my fabric still on the fold. As you see, I still have it here on the fold. And what I'm gonna do, you might don't need the 20 inches, but because some fabrics are directional, so I suggest you cut the 20, like check your fabric first and figure out if you actually need the 20 inches or not.
Janice asks, what are you making?
I'm making, Jenna, I'm making placemats. This is kind of an easy way of making placemats. You're going to use different fabrics, and every fabric is going to have a little piece of the one of the fabrics, but they're all going to look slightly different. So they're going to look like a set, but slightly different. So let's keep going with the measurements. So I have here, as I kind of did a little diagram here on my page. It's kind of just a couple scribbles so I know what I'm doing, so I don't get confused while I'm giving you guys measurements. So as I mentioned, from the 4 fabrics that we have here, this will give you 4 placemats. It will give you front and back. So I'm gonna cut one by one, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut 20 inches, so 20 inches this way. So my placemat will be 20 inches this way, and it's gonna be 15 inches this way. Okay, so 15 and 20. In centimeters would be 51 centimeters and 39 centimeters this way. So I'm just gonna get my cutter and my ruler, and I'm gonna do some measurements and start cutting my fabric. And if you guys have questions, you guys can ask, and I'll try to answer the best that I can. So I'm just gonna take my selvage off, and so I'm just gonna be cutting this selvage off. I'm gonna find a little line here somewhere in my cutter where I can actually cut it straight. So I'm cutting my selvage off, and so since I want 20 inches this way, I'm gonna get my ruler here, and I'm gonna mark my 20 inches. That's what I need.
Naomi says, would it not be easier just to cut them in a stack?
It would, but sometimes if your blade is not sharp enough, and right now because I'm on the camera, so I don't have a lot of space here to actually move all the fabrics around. So for me, in this case here, in this case scenario, I probably would cut one by one. But normally, yeah, you can cut them all at once. Just make sure your blade is very sharp, so they will go through all the layers. Okay, so let me just cut that there. And because I'm not going to be needing all 20 inches this direction, I'm actually going to cut my 15 inches first this way, because so then I end up with a bigger piece here, so I don't waste as much fabric. So I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to find my 15 first, because that's what I need this way. And normally I would probably follow the mat and just put it on top of, follow the numbers in my mat and just cut it, because it's a little bit easier also. But because on camera, sometimes it can be a little bit harder to, put all the pieces together, and, and sometimes the mat is not the proper way. So there's some challenges sometimes when you're doing a video on camera. So I have my 15, and on this way I need 20. So I already marked 20 here, so I'm gonna also mark the 20 on the top. So I'll go here and mark my 20 there, and I'm gonna take that off. All right, so you're gonna do this to all your 4 pieces. So if you can do them all at one time, that's great. And I'm just gonna open these, separate these two, because one of these is gonna be for my front and one is gonna be for my back. All right, so I'm gonna put one to the side here. And since I told you that you have to do all 4, what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna kind of put 2 together now this time. And let's see if we can kind of do it this way now. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm actually gonna put this one on top, and I'm just gonna cut it to that size, so we can kind of speed up things a little bit. All right, because they all have to be the same size anyway. So you know, I will do all 3. Let's see if we can. So I'll go here, and I'm gonna put this one on top, and I want to make sure we cut them all at once. Okay. So because now I have one, and because I want them all the same, I can definitely do it this way. I don't know if you can see everything that I'm doing, because sometimes the camera doesn't catch all the areas.
He asks, how often do you live stream?
Sorry?
How often do you live stream videos?
This is actually my first one, so we'll see how it goes. I'm normally not very comfortable on camera, so I've been trying to do a few videos, but I'm trying to improve a little bit. And I don't even know if people normally like live videos, or if they prefer just, you know, a recorded video. All right, so I have pretty much all of them cut to the same size. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save one of each, and that's gonna be the back of my placemat. So I'm gonna put one of these to the side, one of these, and of course one of these. And my other 4, I'm gonna stack them evenly together. So these 4, I'm just gonna stack them all up, all right sides facing up. Right? So I have 1, and then 2, 3, and 4. So I have them all facing up. Of course, when you're cutting these, always make sure that you pay attention to the direction of the fabric, because since my placemat is going this way, I want the design to be that direction. So in this case, when I cut them all together, my fabrics here had no direction, so it didn't really matter. But if they did, I probably would have to pay attention to that. Okay, so now since I have them all here together, so I'm gonna get a ruler, and like I said, I put a little diagram here. So I'm gonna make some measurements here. So from this end here, the bottom here, I'm gonna push it up so you can see a little bit better. You're gonna leave them all together on top of each other. All right? So I'm gonna go from this end here into here. We're gonna do 10 inches. So 10 inches is about, let's see, 26 centimeters. If you were somewhere in other areas that you use more centimeters, so it would be about 26 centimeters. So I'm gonna go here, that's 10 inches. All right, and I'm gonna do a mark there, okay? Then I'm gonna go on this side, the 15 inches side, and I'm also gonna do 10 inches. So I'm gonna go 10 inches and I'm gonna mark it there. Then what I'm gonna join those two ends together, right?
Janice has a question.
Yes?
I am just starting to sew on a sewing machine. My friend told me that I can only sew using cotton thread. Is that true?
No, you can use cotton polyesters and polyester. So the trick with threads is like this. If you're sewing a cotton fabric, in cotton fabrics you normally can use a cotton thread and a polyester thread. If you're using polyester fabric, I always recommend to use a good polyester thread. A reason why. Cotton often shrinks. Also, the threads are made of cotton, they also shrink. So when you're using a cotton thread on a cotton fabric, they're going to behave together because they're made with the same material. So when you wash them, they will shrink more or less at the same rate. But you can also use a polyester thread on cotton because a polyester thread is normally made of plastic. So plastic is not going to shrink, so it's not going to damage your fabric, so it's going to still stay good. On the other hand, when you're sewing polyester fabrics, what happens if you use a cotton thread and that cotton thread shrinks, and your polyester fabric, because it's made out of plastic, is not going to shrink, then you might have a little puckering on, because if the thread is going to shrink slightly and your polyester fabric is not. That's the only reason that you should use. Most people will recommend, if you're using polyester fabric, use polyester thread. If you're using cotton, but you can use a polyester thread in cotton fabrics. There's a lot of quilters that actually really like polyester thread on quilts because it lasts a lot longer. And there, of course, everybody has different opinions and different taste, so you have to kind of see what works better for you. But I always recommend get a good quality thread. Your needles will work better, your sewing machine will work better, and your project will look a lot better and will last a lot longer. I hope that helped, Janice. Sorry, Janice.
She says, awesome, thank you, good to know.
Not a problem. So since we've did the 10 inches from there to there, now I'm going to go on this line here.
They want me to fix the black bars, so I'm going to fix the black bars.
So I'm going to go here and I'm going to measure 5 inches. That would be 13 centimeters. And then up from there on the same line, I'm also going to go another 4 inches. And I'm going to do another dot here. That would be 10 centimeters. Then I'm going here on this side here on top of my placemat, and I'm gonna measure 10 centimeters from the end to this here, and I'm gonna put another dot here, and from